Hey everyone, today we're going to do a brief review of factoring polynomials. So what I want you to do, as I write the problem, I want you to pause the video, work it out, and then continue to play the video to check your work. Before we get into our practice, here's a quick reminder of our 4 strategies. First, always look to see if you have a greatest common factor. Next, remember, if you have a trinomial in the form ax squared plus bx plus c, use your magic x. If your leading coefficient is greater than 1, remember you have to do the added step of, slide, should be slip and slide. That's just the final step of magic x. And if you have the difference of 2 squares, you're just going to take the square root, okay? And remember, that only works with difference of squares. Okay, so here's your first problem. For your first problem, I want you to completely factor y to the 3rd power minus 9y. Pause your video, work your problem, and then check your work. So the first thing that I notice is I can factor out a y. And when I do that, I end up with y squared minus 9. The next thing I notice is I have 2 squares, 2 perfect squares. This is a perfect square, this is a perfect square, and it's difference. There's a subtraction sign. So I'm going to take my 2 square roots, y times y, the square root of 9 is 3, so y plus 3 times y minus 3. So that is completely factored. Number 2, I want you to factor 5x squared y cubed plus 15x cubed y squared. Pause your video, complete the problem. So now the first thing I see is I can factor out a 5, a greatest common factor of 5. I have 2 and 3 x's, so I can factor out 2, and then I have 3 and 2 y's, so I can factor out 2. So my greatest common factor is 5x squared y squared. 5 divided by 5 is 1. I'm not going to put that 1. I factored out both x's. I only factored out 1 of the y, or 2 of the y's, so I'm left with 1. 15 divided by 5 is 3. X cubed, I factored out 2, so I'm left with 1. Y squared, I factored out both. So this completely factored is 5x squared y squared times y plus 3x. Number 3, completely factor x squared minus 9x plus 20. Pause, work your problem. Now that you've worked it out, there's no greatest common factor, but I am going to go straight to magic x has your back. So here's our a, which is 1, b, c. So negative 9, 1 times 20 is 20. My factors of 20 are 1 times 20, 2 times 10, and I can already see that 4 and 5, if I make them both negative, add to give me negative 9, and negative 4 times negative 5 gives me positive 20. So my factors are x minus 4 times x minus 5, and I have fully factored that trinomial. Excuse me. Number 4, I'd like for you to factor 2y squared minus 16y plus 32. Pause the video, factor this trinomial. Now that you factored, let's see how you did. First, I notice all of these are even numbers, so I can factor out a 2. 2y squared divided by 2 is y squared. Negative 16y divided by 2 is negative 8y. And 32 divided by 2 is positive 16. Then I notice I have a trinomial. So I'm going to use magic x. Here's my ABC. Magic x has your back. So my b is negative 8. A you have, or a times c, you have 1 times 16, which is 16. I'm going to use 4 times 4. I can already see that if I make both of those negative, it will give me negative 8 Negative 4 minus 4 is negative 8. Negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16. So when I factor this, I end up with 2 times y minus 4 times y minus 4. And I do want to show you something. Because I have 2 y minus 4s, sometimes you'll see them written like this. 2 times y minus 4 squared. Both of these are equally correct. This one is most simplified though. Number 5, I'd like for you to factor 49x squared minus 64. Pause your video, factor this please. Okay, let's see how you did. So I notice that both of these are perfect squares. 49 is 7 times 7, x squared is x times x, and 64 is 8 times 8. So I can just take the square root of both of these to get 7x. Square root of 64 is 8, so I have 7x plus 8 times 7x minus 8. Number 6, I'd like for you to factor 5x squared plus 3x plus 4. Pause the video, factor this, and then check yourself. Let's see how you did. First of all, I don't see or recognize a greatest common factor, so I'm going straight to Magic X has your back. A, B, C. My B is 3. A times C, 5 times 4 is 20. And let's see. I have 1 times 20, 2 times 10, 4 times 5. And actually, I think that's all of my factors of 20. 1, 2, yep. And none of those can be used to give us 3. 20, this 1 and 20 either give us 21 or 19. 2 and 10 either give us 8 or 12. 4 and 5 either give us 1 or 9. So this is not factorable or prime. Number 7, I would like for you to fully factor x squared minus 3x minus 18. Pause and factor that, please. Let's see how you did. I don't see a greatest common factor. This is a trinomial, so I'm going to go ahead and do Magic X has your back. A, B, C. So B is negative 3. A times C is negative 18. So I have 1 times 18, 2 times 9, 3 times 6, and I think those two factors are going to give us what we need. I need it to be negative 3. 3 minus 6 is negative 3, and 3 times negative 6 is negative 18. So my two factors are going to be x plus 3 times x minus 6. Those are my two factors of x squared minus 3x minus 18. And let's do our last one. I'd like for you to completely factor 6x squared plus 23x plus 20. Let's check and see how you did. I don't see a greatest common factor, so I'm going to go straight to Magic X has your back. A, B, C. So I have 23, and 6 times 20 is 120. So this is a little bit of a bigger one. So I've got 1 times 120, 2 times 60, 3 times 40, 4 times 30. Let me not forget that one. 4 times 30, 5 will go in there. 5 times 24. Let's see, will 6 go in there? Yeah, 6 times 20. Let's see, will 8 go in there? We have 8 times 5. Not 8 times 5, I'm sorry. 8 times 15. And let's see, does that add up to give us 23? I believe it does. Yes, it does. So I'm going to use 8 and 15. They both need to stay positive. So I have x plus 8 times x plus 15. But remember, we have to do slip and slide because my leading coefficient for x squared is not 1. So I'm going to divide both of these by 6. Now remember, we have to reduce these fractions before we slide our coefficients over. So when I look at 8 and 6, both of those are evenly divisible by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 6 divided by 2 is 3. I slide that 3 over to get 3x plus 4. Now let's do the same thing for x plus 15 over 6. So both of those are divisible by 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5 over 6 divided by 3 is 2. And I'm going to slide that over to get my second factor of 2x plus 5. So my factors of this polynomial are 3x plus 4 and 2x plus 5.